Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
So nice to have you with us today on New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours. If you feel overwhelmed or defeated by what you're facing, pick up the phone and call us at 1-800-229-3000. Your breakthrough is just a phone call away. In fact, here's some Brian math. Did you know that 1-800 plus 229 plus 3000 equals breakthrough? Amazing, isn't it? We've got clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton today and licensed professional clinical counselor Becky Brown, who happens to be the president of New Life Ministries. Alice, I would be so surprised if Becky didn't have something on her mind.
Let's see.
Becky, do you?
You know I do. I always do. And today I was thinking about the core verse for New Life, which is Romans 12:2. And in the New Living Translation, it reads, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will, and which is good and pleasing and perfect." But the NIV says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, perfect, and pleasing will." I read a comment somewhere on social media that said we live in an age where people think being informed equates to being transformed. And the reality is we don't want to really engage in the process and struggle, which are the fuel that drives transformation. It's kind of like buying a book because you like the title, thinking that that's all you had to do was get the book. When we get callers here at New Life, we usually get asked the question, how do I, or what can I do? And we usually answer with some sort of a process, get connected with a counselor or group or friends, the church, read a book with a great title. Sometimes we even send them to you. But, sometimes when we're in that place of asking, we just want the answer to our problem without having to do anything with the answer. We just want the answer. We don't want to have to do anything. It works for about a minute or two because to be heard is powerful. Naming what the problem is 50% of the solution. And a lot of times we struggle in relationships and with lots of different things because we don't put it into words. We don't share it with somebody. So it doesn't mean that the relief that comes in sharing is the answer, but it's part of the process. I have a friend who lost 35 pounds. And of course, it's such a dramatic loss that everybody kept saying, "How did you do it? How did you do it?" And she said, "It really doesn't matter how I did it. It's what you need to do if you want to have the transformation." Because we all know, eat less, move more, that's how that works. But how many of us actually do it? It's that process. New Life has been in God's transforming work for almost 40 years. And we've heard so many testimonies over the years. And it's funny, Brian, that you started with, 1-800-229-3000. That could be the first step. Mm-hmm. It could be that you just need to call us today about whatever is the struggle. Start on the process of experiencing transformation. We know the story about how the butterfly has to break out of the cocoon. Don't help the butterfly get out of the cocoon. It makes the wings weak. Well, guess what? You've got work to do to get to your new life, and we can help you. We've been helping a lot of people. Today may be your day to get started on your new life.
Yeah. Alice?
We can and should pray for the miracles, but God has already laid out a lot of the right steps that bring us towards miraculous healing anyhow, so we don't have to wait just hoping for the miracle. Mm-hmm. There's action today.
And I love the word transform because it's more than just change, because people change their mind all the time, right? Several times a day. But this is about transformation, and that's what we're about here at New Life Live. So give us a call. We'd love to speak with you for the next 2 hours. We're going to be in the studio. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we can't wait to talk to you.
Hello, everybody. It's Becky Brown, and I'm coming to you with an urgent need. There are many people that are in difficult relationships, difficult places in their lives.
How do I navigate through that and not to hurt my son?
We had some generous friends of New Life that started a matching gift, and every gift will be doubled up to $475,000. The matching window closes December 31st, so don't wait. Every moment matters in recovery, healing, and restoration.
I do a lot of work in my local church, and so just being able to hear y'all work through some of these situations really helps me to have some insight on how to help others.
Make your gift today by going to newlife.com, click on Donate, or text the word MATCH to 28950. You can also call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Together, we will bring hope and help to so many more people. And I want to say thank you in advance. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or you can text the word MATCH to 28950.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today. We've got Dr. Alice Benton and Becky Brown here to answer the questions you have, whatever struggles you're facing. Call in to 1-800-229-3000. And Becky, I believe you had a few more points to make on your opening remarks that we can get to.
Well, I was thinking about how we are influenced by influencers, right? That's what the media is all about. But I want to influence you in a way that can help you in this transformation mindset. Number one, read the Bible daily. It makes a difference. You can know what God wants for you. You can know how God feels about you, and it makes a difference in the way that you think about everything. Number two is identifying the areas of your life that you recognize as a struggle. It could be your health, could be relationships, could be a career. And write it out or talk to a counselor. Remember, naming is 50% of that solution. And then three is do one thing today. It could be picking up your Bible, or it could be picking up your phone, calling us, 1-800-229-3000. But this would be the step towards your new life. So I just want to encourage you, there's always something that you can do to make a difference in your life, and we want to help you with it.
Yep.
Becky, I wasn't motivated to read scripture regularly on my own until I saw research that shows that people who have a touch with scripture at least 4 times per week have dramatic differences in things like depression, anxiety, anger, unhealthy anger, and addictive behaviors. But it's having that, reading it, listening to it, or watching scripture that makes the character difference over time. And that got the fire lit in me to start reading the word every single day. It's so good for us and our families.
Well, and Alice, just making the decision to do that. And I think I say this, you probably have heard me say this before. You'd be astonished at how many believers, people who believe in Jesus Christ, have accepted him as their Savior, do not read the Bible. Do not. It's really sad. So make the decision. That's going to be the one thing that you do.
Indeed. All right. And if you need a Bible, by the way, if you don't have one, we have some in our newlife.com store. So check those out. We've got the New Living Translation, and we've got some study Bibles in there. And check it out, newlife.com. In the store. Becky Brown and Alice Benton here today, and Becky's got a busy day. Not only is she going to be doing 2 hours of radio, but then afterwards tonight, I hope she takes a nap, because she's going to be hosting the Healthy Boundaries webinar that starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's presented by licensed marriage and family therapist Eric Thomas. It's a 90-minute webinar, 30 minutes of Q&A included, and it's less than $20 per person. Now, Becky, I'm sure this will be addressed tonight, and if it isn't, I'll ask on the Q&A chat. But if I put up boundaries, especially around the holidays, people are going to think I'm the Grinch or Mr. Scrooge, and I just want people to like me.
Well, I say this often, what people think of you is none of your business, Brian. So when you set that boundary of doing what you can, you will be able to be your best self. It's in those places where we allow people to run over us, or we are feeling compelled to do something, that we become our less than best self. And so, when we are going to talk about tonight is how do you manage all the expectations and the self-talk, like you just said. I don't want people to think something. If you had that much control, I mean, what a world it would be. But anyway, we're going to make an impact on your holiday season to make it better. And Eric's a great presenter, and I know that you're going to enjoy every minute of it.
When we practice boundaries in a healthy and holy way, it actually opens us up to be more genuinely loving, because it helps us to structure where we give our time, energy, and resources so that we can do it in a truly free, open way. So we don't become that clanging gong doing the right thing with anger and resentment for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. So boundaries help us to move out of the Grinch syndrome into a more giving Christmas spirit.
We can all be like Buddy the Elf or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too extreme. Okay, 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we're going to go to the phones now, beginning with Janet in Philadelphia, who is listening on newlife.com. Hi, Janet. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Oh,
hello.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say hi to Becky from the Marriage Intensive.
Hi.
And hi. So that kind of involves, this question and problem is related to the intensive, but it also shows me how much I need boundaries, because both of my husband and I are extremely avoidant. So neither of us are talking about the issues we need to talk about. No comfort circle, nothing. And I feel like I'm always the one pressuring him, and he's always the one rolling his eyes, sighing, and resisting. And that shuts me down from even asking for anything. And our marriage counseling was like the last 10 months. And then she said she's helped us all that she can. And she thinks we need a specialized marriage counselor. And my husband was going to try to get connected with this one guy. And he's a New Life counselor, too, or, the referral from the network. But somehow they're not connecting. And that was one of my conditions is for the marriage recovery, was that, he needs a therapist, and that never happened. We're doing marriage counseling. That's the only thing we're doing. We don't even do what the therapist said, like state one feeling and talk about it. It's like, you can't do, and I'm so bad at boundaries, I don't push because I don't want to see the eyes roll. Mm-hmm. So what can I do?
Janet, as you lay out a couple of those requirements you'd made of your husband, and this is so hurtful that he's doing very little, although you all did invest in our intensive and you're investing right now in marriage counseling. Was there a significant rupture before going to the intensive?
Well, an affair on his part, which, it was for a year, and I was in torment for a year. And to confront him 4 times. And so it was like, she was like his best bud at work, and she's the age of our daughters, our oldest children. Mm-hmm. And it just threw me for such a loop. And, there was some physical involvement, like very little, like once before I even knew about it, and like in the summer before. And then I didn't find out about it till January, when I noticed he kept leaving the house when I was away at work in the evenings. And finally I put 2 and 2 together, and I have security, cameras, and I saw him in the living room on the phone with her, planning to meet up with her. So I confronted him in like mid-January of 24. And then he wouldn't give me even full disclosure until a year later. But he never stopped seeing her. But after I confronted him, I guess it was less, but he would still, go to her apartment. I'm like, do you know how this looks? Even if it's so innocent and you're so close, and I'm not spending time with him. I wouldn't go to bed with him for 5 years because we have other issues of severe resentment since we've been married for 46 years. And wow. It's not been good because I got involved with somebody, college first semester, kind of went wild, and he was holding it over my head for all these years, and this like underlying resentment, and I just finally shut down. I was like, stop going to bed, at the same time, and really had a separation of my heart from him for like 5 years. I just couldn't take it, and I didn't realize that. But anyway, the intensive helped a lot, but it was like prying feelings out of him. And our marriage therapist said it's very difficult for him to open up. And over the weekend, I'm like, look, we're wasting the money. And he said to me, if you're going to counseling, you don't put it in practice, then it's, you're wasting money. Well, I said, honey, look, this is what's going on with us.
Yeah.
So, Janet, as you had laid out those good requirements you needed, I wonder what the teeth were to the requirements, meaning, husband, I need you to do these things. And if you choose not to, then I am going to what? Fill in the blank.
Well, this is what I've been struggling with.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if in-house separation would work. He would be a lot of friction.
Janet, I have a question for you. What do you want?
Yep. I want a relationship that's open and not open. Good communication and closeness. And I don't, he just turned 70, but he's a young 70. He looks 60.
Wait. The reason why I'm asking what you want is because you guys have been in an unhealthy relationship now almost 50 years. And so, if he's still having a relationship with this other woman, that is got to be the first thing that stops. But the hard part is to decide, like, what do I want, or what can I envision possible with our relationship? It seems like the resentment has grown so deep within him that you're not even regarded as a person in the relationship. Is that how you feel?
Well, yeah, I felt like the big word at the intensive was I feel invisible. I feel like I've been catering to his wounds because I, had a physical relationship in college before we got married. Then I got pregnant. So he has felt probably trapped, and, he's taking it out on me because he couldn't forgive. But then when he, had this relationship, and I asked him 4 times because I thought he was going to leave me. And I was in
Janet,
agony. Yeah.
Is the baby his or yours, or like from the other relationship?
She's 46 years old, so we had 3 more kids, and they're all adults and grown grandchildren. But it's just I can't seem to muster up the courage to just lay it out. Say, look, either we do this or I'm gonna. And I always get to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna go couch surf with 2 friends' houses, 2 or 3. I have friends that would take me in for the night, but I could create distance by just saying, I'm going out, I'm going to go to my friend's house and watch a movie. If you won't talk to me face to face.
Okay, wait.
Face to face.
Janet, feel the stress that you're carrying, like that your voice, you're going, this is panic. And that's not a solution to just kind of go wherever. That's a temporary, solution. But what I want for you is I want you to have that peace, that understanding, the connection. And it's not going to be about going all the way back. It's going to be, where are we right now? What does he want? Does he want to stay married?
The affair is over, and it got to be he just wanted closeness because I wouldn't be with him at bed, and I would work a couple times a week, and it was my best friend, so I'd stay till 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning and hang out with her because why? I want to be with someone who would talk to me face to face and love me.
All right, Janet, we hear your heartbreak. There's a lot of confusion that's happening, and even if she's your best friend, if she's had a relationship with your husband, she's not your best friend. She's an enemy of your marriage.
A couple of days from home. Now, this person he's still working the same place, but she works a couple of days at home.
Okay.
So he
Can
only
you hear
her?
Right,
Yeah.
but he should never see her. That's what I'm getting to, Janet. This is the reason why you're feeling all of this stress is because everything is so confused. There's not a clear path of who's in and who's out of this relationship, including yourself, even to the point where it hasn't made sense for a long time. If you are doing marriage counseling and he's still rolling his eyes, and if I were his therapist, I would say, what do you want? Do you want to stay? Do you want to go? Like, what are we doing here? And he could be the best person in the world, but if he's still cheating, and even if they're not sexually active, just the fact that the relationship continues is a problem for your marriage. Alice?
So a couple steps I would suggest, Janet. One is you may need to do a little more cleanup work from that way back college decisions. And so asking him, what do you need from me, husband, to make amends for my hurtful decisions? Because I know they're still affecting you today. And second is to ask that marriage therapist if she would strategize with you individually, looking at what are your fears about setting that boundary, what's your hesitation, and I think you're stuck in whether or not it will be successful. And that the purpose of boundaries is not having success by impacting the other person and changing them. It's by protecting ourselves and clarifying what we need and want.
That's good.
We're going to take a break, and we'll send you something from the newlife.com store as well. So stay right where you are, Janet. And Aurora, we're going to talk to you next, and everyone else at 1-800-229-3000.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, January 23rd through the 25th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Janet, thank you so much for calling in today to New Life Live. We're going to send you a copy of Intimate Deception from the newlife.com store. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today here on New Life Live. And now let's talk to Aurora in Phoenix, Arizona, who listens to us on Sirius XM, channel 131. Hello, Aurora.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Good, good. Well, the reason for my call is I wanted to say thank you so much. I have been listening for the better part of this year, and I kept hearing about the Comfort Circle.
Yes.
And my sister and I, we have had just, it's been, a very up and down relationship for decades. And you include addiction and mental illness and just all this different kind of stuff. And anyway, she came out for a week over Thanksgiving, and it went well until the some stuff came up in regards to our dad that had passed, and some changes that were made to the trust by his wife, and she and 5 other family members were amended out of it. And for some reason, I and 2 others were in it. And it was really, I mean, it was just, it's been a blessing for me, but it's been so awkward because, you know, it's hard to feel good about having something when other people have been, and I don't know why, but it's just the way it was. Well, anyway, we had a day and a half left to our visit, and I really just didn't want it to be awkward, you know, because, you know, she lives in a different state. And so I remembered the comfort circle, and I just asked her if she wanted to talk, and she said yes. So I laid down what this looks like, just listening with an open heart and trying to put myself into her shoes, and vice versa when she's done. And I'll tell you, we've never had a situation like that. God showed up. It was really hard for me because listening to a lot of the stuff of grievances weren't really about me, but they were directed at me because I'm the only one in her life, you know. And but God just, when it was, you know, I just really got to listen and not be defensive or feel defensive. And then when it was my turn to speak, I was able to even voice that I just didn't feel like I needed to even defend. And God just gave me so many things that were pointing towards Him and the healing of our relationship and encouraging her and just a lot of stuff. And I just wanted to thank you guys.
Wow.
It takes immense courage to try the comfort circle. And Aurora, I claim to be the #1 fan, and I believe that I am, of the comfort circle.
I don't know. After hearing Aurora, maybe.
Because I experience the same benefits you do, and I see all of my clients who are willing to practice it experience those benefits. So I honor that you invited your sister, and you did something beautiful, and it worked so well. You seem to have offered to be her listener first. And to do that for someone who's not yet a believer in the comfort circle, that's the right way to enter into it. I think it helps us to sit in a position of being the sacrificial listening lamb, where you listened to grievances that may have had nothing to do with you, but the other perpetrators probably would not do what you were willing to do. And God can use us to bring healing to this sister who has been hurt by people, even though you weren't the one that caused the hurt. You also pointed out that it helps you to listen without defending, and that's the beauty and the power of it, because our normal default, defense, reverse blame, justifying, explaining, all that gets in the way of that healing, prolonged listening. I'm so proud of you doing that with your sister.
Yeah. Becky?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And there were a couple of times where, like, she interjected and I just had to gently put up my hand. You need to wait, please. Please wait. And just, you know, get it back on track, because the minute somebody interjects, whether it's her or myself, I can feel the tension start rising. Then you're, like, talking over each other, and then you don't even know what started the argument.
Yeah, because you're talking about practicing engagement, Aurora, as opposed to reactivity, which feels like engagement. A lot of people will fight because you're making contact with somebody, and I don't mean physically. I just mean, you know, when you're in an argument, and there's energy that goes into that, right? And so a lot of times family members engage in that kind of behavior because it feels like a safe space to fight with each other. You know, you don't do that with, like, the local person, and if you do, you've got an anger problem. But the biggest thing I would identify for you, though, Aurora, in this is that you were open to, look, we gotta have a conversation. I don't want you to go home with this hanging over our head. And I love that you also gave her some tools to take with her in her life. One last thing, the feeling of awkwardness because you were included in the trust and your siblings were not, is just God's grace. And it can be hard to accept that, but that is what your dad wanted. And what you do with the money is your choice. And I'm not saying you give it away just because it'll make you feel better. It may not make you feel better, but be wise about what you do with what you've been given. And it will give you a sense of peace and gratitude that your dad thought of you.
Yeah.
Aurora, thanks for calling in today. We're going to send you a copy of Understanding Your Attachment Style. It's new to the newlife.com store. It's by our friend Mark Cameron, and we're going to put one in the mail to you. We'll be back on New Life Live.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 13th to the 15th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the code NLL for a discount. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learned a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
I love what we do here at New Life Ministries and New Life Live, the radio show. We offer free advice to people who call in with some pretty deep challenges. The advice is free, but there are operating expenses, and so we're reaching out to you, our viewers and listeners, asking you to come alongside us. Your generosity transforms lives, and if you've never given before or you haven't given in a long time, now's a great time to do so because we're in the middle of a matching gift challenge. Becky, tell us about it.
Well, you know, whenever you have a matching gift, it just means that your money gets doubled. And I'm so grateful that we had friends of the ministry who invested in what God is doing through New Life. And so your gifts will be doubled. Every dollar will be doubled. And I think about the lives that will be changed because of that. Like you just said, Brian, you know, we do give free advice, but it costs a lot to do what we do, but it's worth it. And when I was starting the show this morning with transformation, you know, generosity changes lives, not just the lives that are reached, but also yours. You can make a difference in someone's life. And so you can decide today to be part of what New Life is doing. And if you've never given before, make today the day that you step into that generous life. And Brian, how can people give to New Life?
Well, Becky, let me tell you. You can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or you can go to newlife.com/match. We have a website set up just for that. Or you can text the word match to 28950. That is my favorite way to give because it's so easy. So text match to 28950. By the way, as we just heard from Aurora, when you guys call New Life Live, if you have a testimony to share about ways that the program has changed your life, or a resource or an intensive that you went to, we would love to hear that too. So call in to 1-800-229-3000, and we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today. We're about halfway through hour number 1, so we've got another 90 minutes or so to go, and 1-800-229-3000. We've got Laura calling in from Memphis, Tennessee, listening on Sirius XM channel 131. Hey, Laura, thanks for calling today.
Thank you.
Hi, how can we help you?
Hello? I guess I just want to share a testimony. I was injured, and I had to take long-term opiates for about a year. This has happened on 2 different occasions, several years apart, and both times I wound up addicted to the opiates. The first time I stayed on them a very long time. The second time, however, I've been able to, by the grace of God and prayer, wean myself off of them. You know, addiction is a very hard thing, but I truly believe it stems from past pain. And when you put it to prayer, I believe God sheds a tear for you. I believe He wants nothing but you to use your body as the temple of His Holy Spirit. And I just want to let you know that I'm only 4 days out of not taking them, but it's amazing through my life, and I'm a little bit older, in my 60s. As I look back and realize all the different pains and things that I should never have had to go through, how He has picked me up, even though I've strayed away. He's there. He is there. And His word is so solid.
You know, Laura, you are speaking to so many people who have experienced something similar. You know, opiates are very powerful. They've helped people with pain, but then we didn't realize how addictive they were. As you are in this new season of sobriety, I want to encourage you to be part of a recovery group. It's going to help you with just uncovering the things that you are just talking about, that you recognize, the past pains, the hurts, but it also will give you that community as you continue to walk this path. You know, Brian, I want to send her a Life Recovery Bible, but I just want to encourage you. Thank you for being brave enough to just, you know, say, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to get clean and sober, but I want you to have the experience of experiencing recovery.
Yeah. Alice?
Laura, when you said just 4 days sober, I thought, but those are many painful minutes in those 4 days that you have continued to choose your sobriety. In supporting what Becky was telling you, I want to point you to James 5:16, because I completely agree with you that God is our healer. He's our great physician. And the healing process is enhanced when we let other people, other believers, other people in recovery in close to us so that they can support your ongoing sobriety. Because as you know, those days are going to get tough. And James 5:16 tells us, confess to one another so you can pray for each other and be healed. So God seems to make communal prayer an integral factor of ongoing healing. And I would extend that to sanctification as well, so that all this pain you have been through, when you're willing to share those stories with other safe people that are in recovery, you will experience a deepening of the beauty that you're feeling in that healing process with God too.
So right now with the holidays upon us, how does recovery work during the holidays? And what I mean is, because there could be times when people might, you know, step away from it, or, I mean, any tips, any advice for that?
You know, we did a Life Recovery Today program on just that subject from somebody who's been walking in recovery for many years. And what recovery offers is a path and a process. You know, it's that decision making of what are my resources. It can be people, it can be a boundary, it could be, you know, saying I'm not able to go, you know, I'm not, and let your no be no, but also recognizing how relationships, and we talk about this a lot, that, you know, the dynamics in family relationships can be the reason why a lot of people reach for whatever their drug of choice is. And so recovery can help us in so many different ways through these days where we feel triggered and we struggle with our recovery.
And when you walk into recovery room, like our New Life recovery groups, and you confess one of your most shameful struggles, whether it's I'm addicted to this substance, I'm addicted to unhealthy sexuality, I have an anger problem, and you get to hear from the other people in the room, me too. Me too. And I've got 4 days sober like Laura does. It both gives you the hope and the camaraderie that those things that make us isolated because we're so ashamed can actually bring us deep into relationship with other people and God. And that's the supercharged healing process.
What do you think of what you've heard, Laura?
Well, I just think it's amazing. I'm just so grateful that I called today.
Well, we're grateful that you called too to share your story because there's so many people who needed to hear it.
And we can help bring those people around you, Laura, by connecting you with a counselor from our network and a New Life recovery group in your area. So hold on the line.
Yep, stay on the line because we also want to send you a Life Recovery Bible, which is available as well in the newlife.com store. You know, betrayal trauma is very painful, and if this is part of your story, New Life is here to offer help and hope for you. We devote an entire weekend called Restore for women who have been sexually betrayed to come together and focus on their own healing. It's led by a therapist who has been there and come out the other side whole. You'll be seen, heard, understood, and find the hope that what happened does not have to define you. The next workshop is March 6th in Dallas. We're just a few weeks away from 2026, and March will be here before you know it. You can visit newlife.com for all the details. Becky, what would you say to somebody who's thinking, no, I think I can do this on my own. It's been a few years. It's been decades. I think I'll be okay.
You know, one of the biggest challenges with women who resist the help, it's like a caller that we had earlier today. It just perpetuates a lot of the pain. And what is so powerful about this weekend is not only do you feel seen and understood, you also recognize that you have a lot of integrity and power in making a difference in your relationship, whether it stays together or not. And that's what I think a lot of people think, well, you know, it's his problem. I don't need to do anything. But I want to encourage you, you know, this is something that has impacted your life and will continue to impact your life until you make a plan to put it to rest and to get healing from it. So I look forward to hearing the testimonies from women because we hear them all the time. They go and then they go, I didn't know. This is exactly what I needed. These are the people that I needed to be with. And I learned so much and have so many tools. And, you know, we know the rest of the story is yet to be seen, but I just want to encourage you, take a step in that direction.
For sure. All right. Get all the details about Restore on our website, newlife.com, or you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. The sooner you register, the more money you'll save because of an early bird discount that we've got. Find out all the details at newlife.com. More of your calls coming up, 1-800-229-3000.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Townsend. The new year is a perfect time to move from intention to action. If you felt a nudge to deepen your leadership, your counseling, or coaching skill set, the Townsend Institute at Concordia University, Irvine can help you move forward. We offer accredited online degree programs in counseling, leadership, executive coaching, and consulting, from certificates to master's to PhD programs. Classes for spring 2026 begin in February with flexible online options designed for busy professionals. If growth is on your list for the year ahead, take a next step today. Sign up for our online information night, Townsend Institute Live, on Wednesday, January 14th. You'll interact directly with our faculty, our staff, and our alumni. You'll get your questions answered, and we'll waive your application fee for attending. So learn more and register at cui.edu/Townsend. I hope to meet you soon. God bless.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be
his.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And we're going to be in the studio for another hour, so keep those calls coming at 1-800-229-3000. Now, there are other ways that you can get your question to us if you can't call us when we're here. You can submit a voicemail or an email, and directions on how to do that are on our website, newlife.com/radio. We prefer to speak with you, hear the sound of your voice, converse with you, but we do have those other options just in case. Here's one of those questions that was submitted online. It's from Susan. She's in the Midwest, and she asks, how do people deal with feelings of loss when personal items are stolen or thrown away? Susan says, I have an ex-fiancé. He was cheating on me. Long story. He stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of personal items, a portable storage unit, antiques, furniture, artwork, etc., from myself and family, including heirlooms and a lifetime of personal memorabilia from myself, parents, my children, and family friends. I was and am in total shock at such an intentionally cruel act and fell into a depression while I dealt with the fallout. And then my father unexpectedly and intentionally threw out a couple of boxes that I had saved from my childhood. 2 weeks later, a close friend and co-worker suddenly lost a grandchild to a tragic accident. What a shock to our work family and community. I know this family would trade my tragedy for theirs in a heartbeat, and I know thousands of families have lost everything in all of the natural disasters we've had around the world. I've literally beat myself up horribly for my overwhelming feelings of loss and disappointment. I hate feeling so bad and cannot get past my feelings. I truly do not feel I have any right to feel this way, especially after this amount of time. I wake up nightly remembering another thing that is forever gone. How do I get past this? And P.S., I have started counseling. What do you guys say to Susan?
You know, it's grief. I mean, Alice and I both would, I know that that's what you're thinking too. It really is grieving. And the reason why they're popping back up is because in our grief, we try to make things the way that they were. And so when we start to think about, oh, I lost this, and oh, I forgot about that, and I can't believe that he did this, and I can't believe that that happened. We stay in this sense of denial, and we are avoiding the acceptance of what is. Many years ago, our family experienced a house fire in which we lost a lot of things. Nobody was hurt. But I remember those feelings when things would come up. I remember, like, you didn't have the glass that your grandmother gave you, glass vase that your grandmother gave you, and my children lost their toys. And so I love, Susan, that you are rational enough to think, I know that other people have bigger losses, but this is what you've experienced. And so if you get into a process of grieving, you will be able to kind of move this up and out of your internal thought process. The more you think about it, it's this loop and this neural pathway that's starting to get dug into the resentment, the sadness, the just the bargaining that goes into grief.
Mm-hmm. And the harder we try, Susan, to not feel our feelings,
right,
they can both become repressed or they can become exaggerated. And usually a combination of the two things happens. Neither one is a good long-term solution. So oddly, learning to value those emotions that you feel like are so out of context, you shouldn't feel this way because other people suffer more than you do. But you're minimizing your pain, and that's not helping you to move through your pain. So choosing to value your emotions, accept that you do have legitimate reasons, and they're probably not just what you mentioned. It probably goes back even farther than that because emotions have historical roots to them. Not only did I think you said fiance, not only did he steal all of these items and valuable things, I think he betrayed you. And so he also stole your trust. He stole the innocence of the relationship. And I think he stole the future marriage you were planning with him. So this man robbed you of a future life you were building together. That's so much bigger than just the storage unit. And that in and of itself is painful. Our emotions are all God-given. And luckily, thankfully, Jesus displayed so many emotions. He displayed his anger, his feeling agonized. He displayed his grief at the loss of Lazarus, which is so curious because he knew he was about to bring him back. Why would he cry when Lazarus was about to come back out? I think it was to show us that it is permissible, necessary, acceptable to grieve these things that are sad to us in our own lives. I'd also suggest that you may need to get angry. And it can feel like, as a good Christian woman, I don't think I should get angry. But when injustices are committed against us, anger is another God-given emotion that energizes us, fuels us to take action, like perhaps seeking justice. So if you have not yet considered whether or not you bring charges against your ex-fiancé, that might be part of your healing process.
Yeah. Becky, any other thoughts for Susan?
Well, and I'm thinking about the term justifiable resentment. Steve used to talk about that all the time. It's very dangerous when we're justified in our resentment. And you are justified, Susan. It is, he did betray you. He did take things that not only were not his, but they weren't even yours. They were things that he was taking from family as well. And then when your dad made the choice and you said that you felt like it was intentional, you know, this again, you're justified in the resentment that comes with that. But the challenge that you have is, how do I let it go? How do I accept what has happened? Not agree with it, not approve of it, but just, okay, this is what happened. This is where I am. How do I move forward? And there's a great way to do this is in that grieving process is to identify, what did you lose? And how do I say goodbye? Many people get stuck in a grieving process when they lose people. You know, when you lose a loved one and you cannot believe it, and you can't, and you blame God, and you blame, if there's a doctor involved, there's all kinds of loops that your brain gets into. But the most important thing is when we're in the grieving state, we do have to feel our emotions and let them go, or else we're just going to do that for, you know, who knows how long.
When it comes to grieving, especially for Christians, I think that if it's a person that we're grieving, whether through death or divorce or whatever, we feel, well, that's justified. Because as Christians, we try to downplay material things. And so I think when something gets lost of value or whatnot, we kind of think, no, I should be over this. This isn't like losing, you know, a loved one. So, but why is it just as important?
Well, that's what Susan was saying when she was saying, I know that other people have lost unimaginable things. And so she's trying to stay away from what her own reality is. And that's what Alice is talking about. You got to feel those feelings, but you got to also let them move through, because the emotional state will keep you stuck, especially when it's justified. And it is a loop that our brain will get into. And when you seek help outside of yourself to just really organize these thoughts, you're not stuck laying in bed thinking, I can't believe this happened. I'll never get over it. I'll never see that stuff again. I'll never, and then you shame yourself for even feeling that way. So we need to get that out of the loop and move it forward.
Susan, thank you for submitting your question online at newlife.com/radio. And we're going to be in the studio for another hour, so please keep calling in. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. I see Robert and Jeremy. You guys stay where you are, and everyone else that's calling in, we'll get to you guys in the next hour. Don't forget, tonight is the Healthy Holiday Boundaries webinar. If you like singing, There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays, or maybe you're thinking, there's really no place like home for the holidays, and you don't want. Well, we can help you with the Healthy Holiday Boundaries webinar. It is tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time. It's less than $20 per person, and it's 90 minutes. If you can't be there tonight because you've already got plans, sign up anyway. Register, because we'll send you a link that's good for 7 days so that you can watch it anytime in the next 7 days. So keep calling us right now, 1-800-229-3000. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.